In a sunny forest where bright rays of light filtered through the leaves and danced playfully on the ground, lived a curious little fox named Fenny. He was an incredibly inquisitive creature, and every morning he would set off on a stroll to explore the green meadows, quiet streams, and dense thickets where all sorts of animals hid. Fenny adored everything he saw around him, but he was especially drawn to the flowers. Their vibrant colors and delightful fragrances filled him with joy and made his days brighter. One day, while wandering through the woods, Fenny noticed something truly amazing. In a meadow covered with lush green grass, a peculiar flower was growing. It was much larger than the others and had bright petals that sparkled like precious gems, shimmering in all the colors of the rainbow. Fenny held his breath in awe and admiration as he gazed at this masterpiece of nature. This flower was unlike any he had ever seen, and the little fox's heart raced with excitement and a desire to learn more about it. Fenny looked at the flower for a long time, admiring its beauty and the depth of its colors. He thought about how wonderful it would be to take it with him to show his friends and tell them about its magic. However, when the little fox reached out a paw to touch the flower, he suddenly felt a cold wind rise. Fenny turned around and saw that the sky was quickly darkening. A storm was approaching the forest, and the air was filled with tension. Thunderclouds gathered over the trees, and the wind picked up, swirling leaves and small branches. Fenny realized that the flower could be harmed by the impending storm. Fear for the fragile flower, which could not protect itself, filled the little fox's heart. He could not let its beauty be lost to the fury of nature, and he made a decision. He had to protect the flower at all costs. Fenny huddled close to the ground beside the flower, trying to shield it with his body from the increasingly fierce gusts of wind. The storm raged fiercely. Lightning flashed, thunder boomed, and it felt as though the entire forest shook from these powerful cracks. Leaves and branches flew in all directions, and little Fenny had to gather all his courage not to give in to fear. He pressed tightly against the flower, guarding it from the destructive blasts, hoping that his efforts would help preserve this wonder of nature. The wind howled and screeched, but the little fox continued to stand watch, clenching his paws and holding his breath, ready for any challenge. Finally, after long minutes of struggle, the storm began to subside. Clouds slowly started to part, and the forest was once again bathed in warm sunlight. Fenny wearily lifted his head and looked at the flower with relief. It was safe and unharmed. Drops of dew sparkled on its petals like tears of joy, filling the little fox with happiness. That moment, a little firefly appeared beside Fenny, glowing brighter than ordinary fireflies. It was like a tiny star hovering above the ground, and it began to swirl around the flower, showering it with a soft glow. The firefly danced in the air, radiating light that reflected off the flower's petals, adding even more magic and beauty to it. The firefly continued to circle around as if celebrating the protection given to the flower, and with each movement, the flower grew even brighter. A magical atmosphere enveloped the meadow, filling it with gentle sparks of light. Fenny, watching this, felt his heart swell with joy and pride, knowing he had done something important for the forest and all its inhabitants. The next day, Fenny decided to invite his friends to the meadow to show them the rare flower he had so lovingly guarded. The forest creatures, including rabbits, squirrels, and even an old wise owl, looked at him with curiosity, holding their breath in astonishment at its beauty. They gathered around, admiring the petals that sparkled in the sunlight and marveling at Fenny's bravery. All the animals thanked Fenny for his courage and kindness, realizing that he had been able to preserve something important for everyone. Fenny felt his heart overflowing with happiness, for he had not only protected the flower but also given his friends the opportunity to enjoy its beauty. He understood that there was much beauty in the world and that it was important to care for what is dear. Fenny realized that a true act of bravery is not just about strength and courage, but also about the desire to preserve beauty for others. Now the flower would shine for all the inhabitants of the forest, and the firefly would always be nearby, reminding everyone how important it is to protect and cherish the beauty of nature. Every evening, when the sun set, the firefly would gather around the flower to greet the night together, bringing light and warmth to all around. The forest became even more beautiful, and Fenny found true friends who were ready to protect their beloved nature alongside him.